because I know Texas listening. Hey, man, this Mr. Players Get Chose. This Mr. Bag, give me 50 feet.
Oh, really?
This Mr. We Ain't Broke No More.
Yes,
this
sir.
Mr. Bet You Can't Do It.
Come on.
This Mr. Can't Leave Drink Alone.
Come on.
This Mr. That's All We Had. When you listen to Big Mo City of Surf, this Mr. I'll Do It.
Hey.
This is Mr. Get Back. This is Mr. All Right. And man, this is one of the greatest catalogs in Texas rap history. This who put Beyonce and Destiny Child on their first song. That's just facts.
Yes, sir.
This Mr. Can't Stop, man. Hey, man, I'm the motivation. Boys have ran up a serious bag to my music. I'm Mr. Food on the Table.
Man.
Don't ever let anybody tell you different, man. I'm the fat rat with the cheese, little O. I'm the voice of the hustlers. Hey, man, before I even knew what trap music was, they knew I made blocks famous, man. Braeswood, Wolffield, Club Creek. When you talk about boss talk, let's talk about it, man.
You heard what he said.
A real boss is in the building, man.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gon' talk, we gon' have fun. We be on fire, we be lit. It's a unique hustle, bitch.
Check it. It's Unique Hustle. It's your boy, ECO, and I'm here with the lovely, amazing, official Miss Jamaica. What's going on?
None, you know my deal all going. I want y'all to stop what you're doing right now. Go like, subscribe, follow us from all social media platforms. When I mean all, I mean all. I mean our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. You name it, we're on it. Just Google us, Boss Talk Podcast 101. We'll pop up first in line, I guarantee you. But y'all see us in the streets and talk about, man, I love what y'all doing. Keep up the good work. How can we be a part of Boss Talk? This is how you can be a part of Boss Talk. Under each and every interview, including this one right here in the description section below, there's a link that says join our membership. Click that link, follow all the instructions, and that's how you get to see all the exclusive content. Y'all been asking us, where's this interview, where's that interview? You got to be a member to see it, or go ahead and download our app at Boss Talk 101 on any Apple and Google store. Thank you, and we love you.
Man, listen, guys, we got a guy in here today, guys. I promise you don't need no introduction. This guy right here, man, if you listen to SUC, you in for a treat, man. You done seen everybody on here from J-Dog. You done seen ESG. You done seen everybody you can see. Lil Kiki. We done did a bunch of SUC. We got a real one in here today, guys. You only get it this way once in a little while, man. Texas, stand up. Lil O is in the building and it about to go down. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, glad to be here. Hey, man, the streets been waiting on this one.
Oh, man. Yeah, man, listen,
the streets
man.
Been waiting on this
man,
one,
you know,
man.
I'm a country boy. See, I'm out the country, so I love the music and just being a guy that just really just listen to the music bang out when I was rolling down the street with that work and stuff. I really just be picking whoever I was listening to. That got me through, and you got me through on a few occasions. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
But it was more, yours came a little bit later for me, you know what I mean? Because I started with UGK.
For sure,
in 91, 90, Scarface now. I see I'm really UGK for now. I'm a little older than Bun. I'm a little older. I think I'm older than, I might be the same age as Brad, but I'm you know, at the end of the day, I remember when them boys first come out. So at the end of the day, man, a real Texas movement going on, and I just always respected it. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But when you came in the game, man, it was a dope thing, man, and just want to tell you thank you for coming to the show, bro.
Hey, man, thank you, brother. I'm honored to be here. I salute all your hard work, all your grind. And, you know, I've been waiting to come here and pop it, man. Hey, man, you know, because I know Texas listening. Hey, man, this Mr. Players Get Chose. This Mr. Bag, give me 50 feet.
Oh, really?
This Mr. We Ain't Broke No More.
Yes,
this Mr. Bet You Can't Do It.
Come on.
This Mr. Can't Leave Drink Alone.
Come on.
This Mr. That's All We Had. When you listen to Big Mo City of Surf, this Mr. I'll Do It.
Hey.
This is Mr. Get Back. This is Mr. All Right. And man, this is one of the greatest catalogs in Texas rap history. This who put Beyonce and Destiny Child on their first song. That's just facts.
Yes, sir.
This Mr. Can't Stop, man. Hey, man, I'm the motivation. Boys have ran up a serious bag to my music. I'm Mr. Food on the Table.
Man.
Don't ever let anybody tell you different, man. I'm the fat rat with the cheese, little O. I'm the voice of the hustlers. Hey, man, before I even knew what trap music was, they knew I made blocks famous, man. Braeswood, Wolffield, Club Creek. When you talk about boss talk, Let's talk about it, man.
You heard what he said.
A real boss is in the building,
Y'all heard
man.
what he said, man.
SUC
Look,
for life.
pulled up, SUC for life. We about to go all the way down through there, man. We're lean. We in the building, baby.
For sure.
It's going down.
The chemist, what's up? Hey, Willie, no, hey, it's understood, Willie. Shout out to Botany, man.
Already, man.
Whoa.
Botany boys, man. Let's go with it, Miss Jamaica.
So you born and raised in Houston, Texas?
I was actually, a lot of people don't know, I was actually born in Nigeria. And I moved here when I was 6 months old. So I'm Nigerian born, Texas raised.
Yeah, but so have you been back to Nigeria?
Oh yeah. I still got family there.
Okay.
I try to go back like every maybe 5 to 10 years.
So you learn, so you know your roots then.
Oh yeah, definitely, without a doubt. I can't speak Yoruba. I'm Yoruba. That's the tribe I'm from, Yoruba.
Why you can't speak it?
Well, because I grew up here. Just
I know,
to
but
be
you've
real.
been going back and forth. You should pick up a couple words and stuff.
Well, I could like put it like I knew when my mama was about to whoop my ass, and I knew when my daddy was finna get on me. I can hear certain words, but I can't speak it fluently.
So
but
your dad and mom is from there?
Yeah, both.
Okay, that's awesome.
Both.
They still together?
My mama's dead. Unfortunately, she died at as young. But yeah, my dad is
She
still
passed
alive.
when you were young?
Yeah.
How old?
I want to say I was about 11.
11. Okay, so
Yeah.
you still have some fond memories of your mom.
Oh, absolutely,
growing
absolutely.
up. Do you mind I ask did she pass
Cancer.
from?
Mine too.
Man.
Cancer. So
you saw her go through everything?
well,
Or did she hide it from y'all?
when she first got diagnosed, we watched, and then she wanted to go back to Nigeria to be with her family. And I guess we didn't understand at the time what cancer does to somebody that's fighting it, and I guess she didn't want to see her kids. So I'm one of 5, so I guess she didn't want to see.
Where do you fall in the 5th?
Second.
Second, okay.
Yeah, so I guess she didn't want to see her kids,
See her
deteriorate like that. And I'll still never forget, because it's quite shocking when we went to the funeral.
You
saw how it had really changed her. And now that I'm older, with age comes wisdom. I appreciate, because my memory, she was such a beautiful woman, and I got to keep those memories of her. Because now that I've seen other people fight cancer, it deteriorates you, and I don't want to see. You wouldn't want to say, as a child, as a grown man, you can handle it, but as a child, I don't think you would wish that on anybody, to watch someone you love deteriorate.
Did she what stage was she in? Did she start like trying to fight it, going through chemo and all that first, and then she just said, you know what, it's not working, and I left? Or did she, as soon as she found out she had cancer, she was like,
well, she definitely tried to fight it at first, but as a kid, you still, you don't know the levels of, because you're still a kid, So, but I know she definitely tried to fight it at first. But I'm sure it got to, my dad had told me it got to a stage where she wanted to go back.
How long did it take her after she went back before she had passed?
To be honest, I'm not really good with a a timetable, but it was pretty. I would say now it was, it would be pretty fast. It moves fast. It was because when you get older, you get to asking questions. You know what I'm saying? It was a very aggressive form of cancer,
and that's important. That's important, because the thing is that. When you're children, you might still ask those questions, but your parents, don't worry about it. They brush you off, because they feel like a lot of times kids are too young to understand and grasp it to its fullest. But I tell people all the time, don't be too shy or feel like, because healing comes later on. You know what I mean? And you have to ask these questions to know how to heal and to be able to, because it affects you subconsciously, even if you don't realize it affects you. You know what I mean?
What was something that you remember that she said to you that you still can remember hearing her voice saying?
She was always just big on, you can be anything you want to be. Read your books. In Nigerian culture, they're real big on, don't let anybody give you limits. Education, read your books. She was strict, but she was a loving woman, man. Like I said, I'm one of 5. And she had made, it's like I said, with age comes wisdom. And now that I just had my very first child 3 years ago.
Hey, congratulations.
So I respect my daddy so much, because he raised 5 children by himself. And one of the things that my mom made him promise, I guess she knew she was going to die. She was like, whatever you do, don't separate my children. Because it would have been too much. A lot of people would have been like 5 kids to raise on your own, in Nigerian culture, they would have just sent us back to Nigeria for his, there's a support system over there to raise us, his sisters, and and she was like, don't send my kids back. You raise them and you keep them all together. And my dad honored his word.
Wow.
And that's why I respect my dad so much, because it's like now that I'm older, and then I have one kid is
to have 5 is
he
on a whole nother level.
And he raised 5 by
How
himself.
old was the youngest ones?
My youngest one, they were, if I was about 11 and 12, so far. They're probably about 5,
Okay.
6. So these are young kids,
Somebody's at the door?
young all the way up from like 5 to 12. Mm-hmm. And just it's like, imagine planning your whole life thinking it was going to be a certain way, and that bomb dropped. And I've seen so many men fold. So it's like to raise 5 kids on your own. It's a different kind of respect I have. You get what I'm saying? But that was.
And he never got any help. He didn't have nobody here to help him. Did he ever find a girlfriend or somebody that he brought in?
Eventually,
Yeah.
But for a while, that was the love of his life. So for a while, it was hard for him to,
Right.
So, but that was her last wish. Do not separate my children.
I'm happy he honored that.
Yeah. So, that's how much she loved us. She wanted us all together. She didn't want. We're big on family and hard work. We always had to work. You know what I'm saying? I was the.
What was your first job you had?
My first job was the paper boy. I had a job since I was 9. I always had to hustle since I was 9. I live from Houston. We have a newspaper called the Houston Chronicle, and if you grew up on the Southwest, it was another one called the Advocate.
Okay.
So even at 9, I still remember hard work. It's like, because we used to me and my big brother would wake up early in the morning, like at 3 in the morning, because you got to deliver the paper for the morning paper.
Right.
So you got to roll all the paper into the plastic bag. And I still remember my palms being so black because the ink. From the newspaper would make it blacker than my hoodie. You know what I'm saying? My mom be like, you better not touch that wall, because it look like you being a thing, or I'll whoop your ass,
Right.
Do not touch the wall. And that was our life every morning. And we'd load up these bags. And I still remember the bags being so heavy that they would leave a cut in your because you put it around your shoulder, and the cut be so deep sometimes, and we just get on our bike. But I didn't understand back then what my dad was teaching us. You know what I'm saying? But he was teaching us
That
hard
work.
We always had
Discipline.
to work. We always had to hustle. And my dad was at that time he was still coming up. But a lot of people don't know I'm the son of a doctor. So it's like, as we got older, once he finally started
His practice.
making money, people would always kind of think, well, they must have it. You know what I'm saying? And that was never the case. We've always had, like, I still remember looking at kids that had way less to me, and I used to think they was just so amazing because they got to go to the barbershop every week. Because we was the kids that got teased because our edge up was crooked. The whole African booty scratcher jokes, and our clothes wasn't up. But then we started working and buying our own stuff. But I still remember, the oyster clippers. Remember the oyster clippers with the white boy on front? And my dad used to cut our hair with those, Ain't been to nobody's barber school or nothing. It's just, coming from here, it's like, it's like, what does a kid need $200 tennis shoes for? I was a whole doctor before I had shoes that cost that much. So that's how we always grew up. That's where my sense of grind came from. I think my dad didn't know that, of course, his son would end up one of the biggest trappers out the West, because he didn't come from a place where they had crack dealers and stuff, so he always thought he was teaching us hard, but it was always to us be successful, make money. And as a kid, unfortunately I made some poor choices, but you always come back to your roots. You get what I'm saying?
How old was you when you first?
When I hopped off the porch?
Yeah, when you first started selling crack.
15.
You were 15 when you first, so you went from
old.
selling newspapers to selling crack.
15 years old.
And how old were you when your dad found out for the first time what you was really doing?
Well, I don't want to take it there too fast, but I'm pretty sure selling that crack was adventurous at 15.
Very.
And not only that, to get it, how did you end up? Who was the first one turned you on to it?
Well, the way it happened was I dated this girl, and she was an older chick. and she lived with her a chick that was way older. And I would always, whenever she was from a neighborhood in Houston called South Park.
I know what's up.
But but her homegirl stayed on the Southwest. So whenever I would visit her when she was on the West, she'd be at her homegirl's house. And the older girl dated one of the biggest gangsters in the hood. The first day I met him, I was just over there chilling. Well, this literally how we first met. I won't say his name, but he walked in the door with a big pistol in his hand. And he looked at me on the couch. That was my first. I wasn't used to seeing no shit like that. And he looked at me, and I looked at him. And this gonna sound bad, but then he went to the back room, and all you heard is, "Hey man, who's that nigga on the couch?" And she was like, "No, he's here for Chanel." And when I tell you, he beat the living shit out that girl.
Just cause the nigga was that.
Just yeah. And that was. But after that, he felt bad because Chanel, came in. Hey, no, And because I always used to be over there, me and him just got to talking, and we got cool, and I just became like his little brother. And one day, we used to have a thing, on a.
He's still in the hood now?
Well, he's locked up again.
Okay.
He's locked up. This guy, he was a notorious killer, dope dealer, dope slang. He's a gangster's gangster. Now that I'm older, certain niggas, just because you trap don't mean you're. This was a gangster's gangster. So back then on the blocks, we had a thing called J-Day. That's when the Jordans would come out. That's kind of how we knew which block was popping. If you'd ride by each block, you know who had the Jordans on. So one day he was like, "Yo, the Jordans coming out. You gonna get them?" And I was like, "Nah." And he's like, "Why not?" And I was like, "I ain't got no money." And he's like, "You want me to show you how to get some money?" And I was like, "Sure." I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? He took me over to the OG's Pike and Galen. God bless the dead. That's where I scored my first 50 pack from.
Okay, Pike and Galen, your 50 pack, your 50 cent rock.
Yeah. Well,
your 50. You bought a 50. Where did you get the money at to get the 50?
I had $50.
You had 50?
Yeah,
Okay.
I had 50.
Who taught you how to cut it up?
He did.
He showed you how to cut it.
Yeah, he told he introduced them and said, "Hey, he want to buy a 50 pack." Once I brought it back, he showed me how to chop it down with a razor blade. I turned it into $100, 520s. He took me out on the block, and he was like, everybody was scared of him out there. This was off of Southwest Gardens before they tore down the apartments. To those from the West, they listening. They really know this story. Right there off of West Airport and Fondren.
Okay.
And he came out there because I'm a stranger to them. They know me from just being, at Kim apartment. But, you just can't just go out on no dope corner and start selling dope. But he ran that shit out there. He was like, "Hey, this my little brother. He finna be out here selling dope, and don't nobody better fuck with him." And everybody knew if he said it, you better not, because this nigga will shoot you in your motherfucking face.
Wow.
And because I was his little brother, nobody messed with. He taught me how to run up to cars, and I'd be acting like I was on the payphone. Real block shit. I'm off the block, man. They can't tell me nothing about
So when
traffic.
you ran up to that car, do you remember the first person you ever sold crack to?
Nah, I don't remember. Come on, man.
I do.
It became a web.
I do.
I don't.
Because I'm real like I remember. It's like a movie.
Nah, I don't. But the first part I remember. What I do remember is how fast that money came.
Yeah, it came fast, didn't it?
That is what I remember. I was like, then a light went off in my head.
It was real easy.
Because I was very smart. Like I said, I always thought I was going to be a lawyer growing up.
Yeah.
So I was always good at school. I couldn't bring home no bad grades. I get my ass whooped. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I always made good grades. I was always smart. I always thought I was going to be a lawyer. But it's crazy you said that. I don't remember the first prep, but I do remember how fast that money came. And it was one of the most rolling blocks at that time.
The rock and roll.
Southwest Gardens was rocking and rolling. Just before Braeswood.
Yeah.
Braeswood was rocking that, but the first block I ever sold dope on was really Southwest Gardens. You know what I'm saying?
What year was that?
That was, I'm not good with time, but that was.
You'll figure it out.
If I was 15, 16, then what is that? 15, 33 years ago. Was that 33, maybe 30? So what was that, 90?
90 something.
90 something.
90, early 90s? Or was it
maybe mid-90s? Yeah, maybe mid-90s.
It's rolling in. So they whipping at this point.
It's rocking and rolling. And I made that 50-pack turned into 100 so fast, I just became addicted.
Of course. The dope meant more than the money.
What? I always tell people, I say people think drugs is the most addicting thing. It's not.
It's not.
Fast money,
correct,
is the most addicting thing.
When I say the dope meant more than the money, meaning you didn't want to run out of dope because you know you'd always have the money and control. So that's one of the things that I always remember.
And this is what's crazy. The older guys that used to sell me wholesale, like Pike and Galen, OG Paul, goddamn, God bless the dead. It's crazy how they all, most of them so dead now. Yeah. But they'd always be like, little kid, you different, man. Because I would save my money. I was up to wait quick. You know what I'm saying? Because one, I had a nigga that wasn't gonna play about me when it came to this gangster shit. Then two, we call them tennis shoe hustlers. For some niggas, the minute they sell they dope, they gonna go buy some shoes, they gonna go fuck it off. I was always like, because I was so disciplined, be like, okay, I got this. Okay, the next thing you know, the older nigga started taking a liking to me. Like, God damn, nigga, what you was just here. You want a quarter now? Now you want a half? Now you want an ounce? Now you want 2 ounces? Now you get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So the discipline,
they're gonna make you go up.
Yeah. Before I knew it, I was the fat rat with the cheese, man.
Yeah. So you got to a quarter key, you was like, damn, what's up, man?
Hey, man.
Damn, I got me, man. I got me now.
Hey, man, look, man. I tell people, man, I was about 17, and I remember counting 40K in a shoebox, and you couldn't tell me I wasn't Diddy.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell me I wasn't Diddy. I felt rich, man.
Wow. Now, my precious wife was asking you about, what'd you ask him? When was the first time his dad found out about it?
Yes, how old were you?
I want to say I was 17 or 18. And the way he found out was, it was on the front page of the newspaper.
Damn.
And on the news.
So he did not have any clue.
He had no, because he was always working. Like I said, he raised 5 kids by himself, and he couldn't be around to watch everybody. I think, like, if my mama would have been alive, I probably wouldn't have went down that route. You know what I'm saying?
But I would think that because you started making all that money and stuff like that, you would be starting to buy things that were a little bit more expensive than somebody who was working at a route.
You're talking to a man that didn't grow up here. If a nigga that grew up here would have said, this nigga
so he didn't know the prices.
He's like, man, I got a job, man. I got to after school. You get what I'm saying? I'm doing odd jobs. You get what I'm saying? It didn't put. Look, I was so dangerous. I would have a rental car that I would, to hit my licks out of, and when I would come home, I would park it 2 blocks down. And then when he'd leave, I'd go walk 2 blocks down, get in my rental, and go. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So when he found out, it was the front page of the newspaper. I'm sliding down 59 high speed chase because I'm driving. We had a nigga picking up a half a brick, but he set us up. We speeding down 59, throwing dope out the window, and it was on the front page of the newspaper. They still got the newspaper clippings to this. You can Google it,
What
did he say?
And look, put it like this. I was in jail. This how scary I was of my dad. I was too scared to call him.
Tell him to come get you.
And tell him to come get. I stayed in there for a while till it finally got back to him like, we seen RL on the news. And he was like, what? Then the newspapers start coming, read it, and it's like, I didn't know what to say, man. I didn't know. That's how scared I was.
He came and got you?
He finally, I had money.
I know.
I got myself out, but
you had to still face him.
Yeah, I still had to face him.
And when you faced him, I'm trying to get to that first time you faced him, what did he say to you?
You had money.
Yeah.
Who went and got the money and got you out? Somebody had to do that.
You know how it is when you have partners that, hey man, get me out, and I shot you. You know how it go.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm trying to figure out. So you just shot it back.
And then one of the, I want to say I don't cost him on the case. I want to say it was my first offense. So I think it was like 30, 40 back then. You know, like 30, 40 back then. You know what I'm saying?
Bad.
Yeah. Like 30, 40,
Yeah,
you know.
had to come up with a little old bit.
Yeah, you know how I go 10%. I got to shoot you that punk 3-4 racks, you know. But you got to remember, I'm a
now
kid.
You got to go back to court too, though.
Yeah. But lawyers and all that.
Lawyers play games with that.
I just remember the pain on his face, man.
He looked at you and really he felt disappointed.
It was disappointed and shamed, because you got to remember, you know, my daddy was a doctor, man. He came here, worked hard, you know. It's like for him, he busts his ass. I'm raising 5 kids. I think maybe I let him down because, like she said, how did I not know? Mm-hmm. How big is this? What is this? Then people start talking. Yeah, they say it. They say your son is really big time. He ain't no little. And you know, I rule. You know, look. Some of these niggas that's on podcasts now that is kingpins of the city, they'll tell you. They'll say, "Man, I've known O since he was a little boy." Because some people used to be like, "Man, I heard he was a spoiled," and niggas would be like, "Man, I've known O since he was a little boy." My crew was some of the biggest niggas to ever come out of the South Side. That's just facts. You know what I'm saying? And it's real. It can't be disputed. It can't. I can say that on Boss Talk, and it's gonna be niggas in the comments. They're gonna be like that. That boy ain't lying.
But so when you look at going back to it, you get out. You still had work, or the work you throw did you have to re-up, or how did you end up getting, because you went back on the block? Yeah, man, without a doubt. Well, you know, the work I threw out, you know how it go. They put that in evidence, but now it's like I'm out on bond. Got to pay lawyers. You still got the itch, and you know, once you're that, you kicked out the house now. Of course. He got younger siblings that he got to think about. Hey, what you want to do with your life? And like I said, you know, you can't tell a young nigga nothing when he have money. My partner's from Braeside, Lil Curly. Yeah. Lil Curly and Rodney, I think you. How you know? Because I watched a lot of your stuff. I don't just. I was like, goddamn. I was like, no, because I make sure to investigate what you. Wow. Okay. Respect. I thought you might know some of these niggas. You said you was in the. You know what I'm saying? No. I wasn't on that side with you, but I thought maybe you was in the fence with one of them or something. I hit Houston a lot. Okay. I hit Houston. My first cousins who's the same age as me went to Smiley. Yeah. They went to Smiley. Yeah. You know, I was on Whitfield and Lee and Whitfield and all that over there. That was my, you know, when I would come out there from 13 all the way up. Yeah. So definitely hitting them skating rings. I was before Deucin Park. Yeah. I was out there on that time. Gotcha. So, but definitely, that's where the work was at. I got some crazy stories in Houston. I don't tell them. Yeah. I got some. For sure. You know, cause that was where the work was at. The one, it was sometimes. Sometimes it was a drought. I was going to ask you about the big drought that hit. Sometimes, did you ever experience a drought? Droughts are part of the game. That's right. Droughts, it's no anybody that's really a trapper knows there's drought. But to be honest though, when you was as connected as me, when it do come in, I'm always gonna have it first. Yeah. I was, you know, I'm in like that. Even if it is a drought, when it do get back right, we the ones that had it first. Yeah. We the ones that had it first, you know. But when my old man was like, "Hey, what is this? What are you gonna do for?" And I looked him dead in the face, and I was like, I didn't know no better back then. I said, "Nah, this is what I want to do." That's right. This is what I want. That's where we be. This is what I want to do. Stop it. No, because the rush is what you. Yeah. What did he say? It's adrenaline rush. To get out my house. Yeah, I gotta go, and I'm cool with that. I'm not gonna stop. And then, you know, I end up catching another case. Right after that, or how long after that? Maybe I want to say not long. Maybe 7-8 months later. Yeah, but they start watching. Yeah, you know. Did your dad cut you off, or y'all still? I was. You know, you can't talk to me. Okay, look, we don't play. I don't come from a house of drug deal. I don't play that. What? You're a drug dealer? Like, don't talk to me. Just cut me off. Man, you can't. You're a drug dealer. And you know, I think it was my second case is really what changed my life, because it's like well, how about they get you with that time? That was like about 4.5. Okay. You know, because it's chopped up in quarters, halves, 50 packs. Oh yeah, you better go get that. But yeah. You know, my phone on fire. I'm back. You know, I caught a case on Woodfield.
That's another legendary dope corner. If you listen to my music out there, you'll know the 3 corners I always talk about is Braeswood, Warfare, Club Creek. That was my stomping grounds. That's where I made my name.
They get you this time. Now you used to it.
Yeah, and I'm out on bond already. You know how I go. You can't. So I swallowed I swallowed a bunch of dope, and my lungs collapsed.
Damn.
Because it popped.
Yeah, the lungs collapsed. So
They pumped that shit out of it.
They straight up called my dad and said he's gonna die. They told him what happened. I hadn't talked to him in forever, and he can't. And it just so happened another doctor saw my last name
and knew him,
and he just so happened to be Nigerian. It's like, this is so and so's son, and he called him, and he said he didn't even know how to tell my dad. Later on in life, and he said, you need to come down. I was in Ben Taub. I was on life support. My lungs had collapsed. And he's like, y'all need to come say your goodbyes. He's not going to make it. And by the grace of God, I was in a coma for a couple of days. And I woke up out the coma. And I'll never forget, this is really what made me want to change my life. When I woke up out the coma and I still had tubes in my mouth, tubes in my dick. Excuse me.
No, yeah.
I'm on life support, and I just remember, waking up. You see the hospital lights, and you're looking up at the ceiling. And then I was like, "Oh, you moving?" And I moved my ankle. And when I moved my ankle, it was handcuffed to the bed, and it hit me like I could have died in shackles. My ankle was handcuffed to the bed. So finally, when I got all my, they transferred me to the county. When I go into the holding tank, I'm like, no, this nigga stopped. Word on the streets was already, is dead. He swallowed all that dope. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the tank and, and still a hospital gown. And I just thought about it, man. I was going to die in chains, man. I could have died in chains.
Did your father
My dad he couldn't even come see me like that.
That's what I was
He had to
wondering.
he had to send people to come see. He said, I can't see my son like that. And then you start putting in perspective how much hurt you putting your family through and how much. And then that was one of the main things. It's like, man, I could have died in that bed. And if I would have died, I would have died shackled. And that was a big, big wake up call for me, and I had at least the incentive to want to try to do better. So when I was fighting both my cases, it's like, look, man, the judge straight up want to, my lawyer told me, he's like, look, man, the judge want to hang you, man. That's just the bottom line. The judge want to hang you. You got to do something to, maybe I can get you some probation. And he's like, well, maybe if I go to school, he said, if you go to school and get out the city, he'll give you probation. We'll try to get you probation. We'll be like, hey, this kid's trying to change his life. He come from a good family. Maybe give him a chance, And that's why I went off to school at Xavier for about a year and a half. You know what I'm saying?
At this time, you had already met DJ Screw and them and all that, right?
No, I hadn't met DJ Screw. I hadn't met. I knew of Screw because he was already the man as far as, and we go by his shit to sell tapes. But,
correct.
I think right when I was going off, you know what? Right before I left, I had met Screw, because that's when as you can see, I'm bad with time, but I remember the reason how I know that is because the guys I went with to Screw House was Fat Rodney.
And they were hustlers.
And they was hustlers, so
that's
I had to be. Yeah.
That's why I'm good.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I knew him, but it wasn't full blown music like that. But yeah, we definitely knew each other.
Yeah, because you say the day that you went up there to talk to him, you gave him your tape.
Yeah, my demo.
Your demo.
Yeah.
And your demo was, tell the story.
My demo was with my homegirls, Beyonce, Kelly, Latavia, and Latoya, better known as Destiny's Child.
Wow. And that's dope. So you already had music, so you already had a manager at this time?
I had put my Aunt Melinda, this is how I met Matthew Knowles. I was demoing up music after, because after I said, okay, I caught that case. I'm trying to do better. You know what I'm saying? Man, let me back in the house. It's like, okay, if you're going to go after. But whilst the time I was waiting, I'm still fighting the cases. I'm still like doing this as a hobby for music. And the shit was getting, but at the time I met a producer named Grizz that used to produce for Rap-A-Lot Records. So back then, I know Fifth Ward Boys, a lot of a lot of their music. He used to do stuff for them. So my homeboy that I went to school with, that I always used to play around freestyling with, told Grizz about me. And it's like, man, it's this kid, man. Oh man, he really got something, man. And the West really behind. You just need to. And he heard me rap. And back then there was a magazine called Rap Pages, and they came to Houston to do an interview on the Rap-A-Lot producers.
Okay.
Rap, but they weren't there for little. They came just because the whole Rap-A-Lot thing was full, and he was one of the key Rap-A-Lot producers.
Okay.
So the magazine was Rap Pages, and he came to do an interview on the producers. And whilst he was there, just like when you do interviews, he's like, so what are you working on? He's like, well, I'm working on this project, Scarface, this and that. But you know what? It's this kid, man. My personal little side project. And he's just raw, man. You got to hear this shit. It's just a demo. And he said, okay, we'll play it. And he played it for the guy that worked at Rap Pages. His name was Bilal Allah.
Okay.
From New York, And he heard it, and he was just blown away. And Bilal Allah, he said, man, look, I'm about to become an A&R at MCA Records in 6 months. And when I get that job, I'm coming back to sign this kid. And we thought he was capping. But 6 months later, he came back. He said, hey, I got a job. I got a job at MCA Universal. And I was his first sign. And the reason why I keep on saying his name, Bilal Allah, is because this is some of the guys that A&R some of the legendary projects for Uptown to Mary J. Blige to KC and JoJo. He's a very,
Wow.
Yeah. So that was his very first signing to MCA Universal. And he came back and signed me. And then once I got a deal, even though I didn't even tell him I was out on, what I'm saying? But my auntie knew Matthew, and Matthew was doing, of course, Young Destiny's Child at the time. And my auntie was just trying to keep me from selling dope again.
Right.
So it's like, look, could you please talk to my nephew? He's trying to get his life together, but they say he's really talented, and I think he got a record deal. Mm-hmm. So Matthew was just doing it as a favor to my auntie. And then he realized, like, this boy got a real record deal.
Yeah.
And,
and he is talented.
then he got his group, which is, Destiny's Child. So we became, we would always be around each other. So whenever I needed a song to sing vocals for, they were just naturally my go-to people to sing because them was just my homegirls. You know what I'm saying? And when we demoed up Can't Stop, that's how it happened. And we put it on a test press wax. And all my homies was like, man, you got to bring this to Screw. I was nervous. I didn't want to do it. But they was like, nigga, if you don't bring this shit to Screw, nigga, you rapping on this bitch. Nigga, bring it to Screw. And when I brought it to Screw, I was there to buy some taste. I knocked on his door and I was like, hey, man, by the way, man, I'm a little old from the West. I got this song with my homegirls, Destiny's Child. Can you just check it out? And Screw was like, all right, man, I'm going to check it out, man. I'm going to see. And then, I thought he was playing. But 30 minutes later, my Prime Co phone rang. And they're like, man, this shit hard, man. I'm finna put it on a tape right now. I was like, for real? I thought it was playing. Shit. Nigga, that bitch hit the streets. And then, like I said, I already had a name from trapping. And on the first song, Can't Stop, I say with all the other hustlers and all the other G's from Bracewood to Wolfville on down to Club Creek. So when a nigga say, look, a lot, you know how it go. Other niggas, if you really making a name in the streets, other niggas from other hoods, even if they don't know you personally, they know your name. They be like, is that the same little old from the way? It got to be because That's the West, bro. Man, that's a little old. He be with so and so, so and so. So instantly, all the street niggas started spreading that shit instantly because they knew me. You know what I'm saying? They knew of me. And then Screw, Fat Pat loved the song.
Fat Pat
it was one of
it.
Fat Pat's favorite songs.
Had you met Fat Pat at that time?
When he had first heard Can't, I didn't even met him. He heard Can't Stop off the Screw tapes, and then niggas like, I don't want to talk too much about other people's business, but niggas from Botany.
Shout out to Botany boy.
Shout out to, who I really, used to hustle with. And they'd be like, yeah, man, that's our partner, nigga. That's all, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Willie, man. I love you, brother.
Yes,
Kevin. And they started, Fat Pat be like, man, that boy old, man. And then it was Screw's favorite song at the time.
Wow.
And he just put it on so many Screw. To this, look, Screw loved this song so much to this day at the DJ Screw Museum. The original test press that I gave him hangs on the wall.
Wow.
That's how much that song defined the Screw tape era. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I started and spread, went crazy. Then, Universal got excited behind it, said, okay, we'll shoot you a video. And I gotta stress this. This before niggas is used to seeing people from the South with record deals now. It wasn't like that back then.
No, I know it wasn't.
I was an anomaly.
Yeah.
A young nigga so raw that boys from New York came all the way to Texas to give him a shot at a record. It was unheard of.
Yeah.
I'm one of the first people really out the South that really had a major deal before. That's facts.
No, I get it.
Yeah, that's facts. It was unheard of. And then, we shot the legendary Can't Stop video.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Screw, Fat Pat. Shout out to OG Willie D. He pulled up. The whole city, every D-boy in the city was pulling up. You see the lots, it's nothing but candy slabs and foreigns, candy Lexuses, and that was the thing. Blades. The street showed out. That's old. And we made history. But, at that time, majors really didn't know what to do with a guy from the South.
When you were you the first one to put Beyonce and them in a video?
I'm absolutely the first.
How was it going to do a video with Beyonce, the young Beyonce that just now learning how to get in front of a camera with LaToya and all of those girls?
Yeah.
How was that?
And how old were they at that time?
I want to say if I was they like 2 years younger, so probably like 16.
Yeah.
16.
Okay.
So I always tell people when you're making history, you don't know you're making history.
That's right.
When you're making history, you don't know, man. To me, hey, I'm shooting a video with my homegirls.
That's right.
We're excited. Hey, we made it,
That's
man.
right.
Hey, man, we had Maker. That's the biggest at that time.
Yeah.
Jamaica's the hottest club in the city.
So is that during the day or at night?
Nighttime.
Yeah, I made the video at night.
Yeah, nighttime. Radio come out. OG Meanster Green still from the radio. Shout out to the big homie if you listening. The whole city on fire. It's just
This is pre Wycliffe. They hadn't even met Wycliffe.
Yeah, this before
this a Houston thing.
This the very first song they ever did. And I was on and then it was like they big break because I was signed to a major label.
What did they
were
say
signed to Columbia at the time, but Columbia hadn't put nothing out on them. So, it was just, hey man, our big bro put us on a song, it's jamming. Everybody talking about it in the streets. We finna shoot it was just love, man. It was just nothing but love and excitement, man.
What? Okay, and just jumping. I'm gonna go far and come back. But have you ever ran into Beyonce or she acknowledged you any kind of way as y'all gotten older?
Absolutely. When back here, she was one of my biggest. Keep going, keep. You know what I'm saying?
She hit you up at that point.
Oh yeah. Even afterwards, back. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. So I haven't seen her recently in a few years, but it's
they
always
showed you love.
Look, Matthew knows to this day. Every now and then we still go out to eat, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's someone I hold in very high regard because when I say.
No, I was talking about the girl. It was a girl that brought him up on the show. The one we were going with B King. She said she used to be managed by him too.
Okay.
What was her name? Talamisha?
Yeah, Talamisha.
Yeah. She went with B King when he passed away.
Okay.
So he used to manage.
I think that's the name.
He managed her for a little bit.
Okay. But I don't know about their situation.
Yeah, no, it was after you.
Okay, way after me. Okay,
younger. But I just shout out to her, man, and I hadn't been seeing her like I used to see her when B King was alive. I had B King on the show.
Yeah.
I interviewed her too.
Okay.
She posts a lot.
Oh yeah. Shout out to her. All right, go ahead.
But I was saying, like, with age, and especially a lot of the older dudes, it's like you got to really respect the real OGs that taught you well. Because people always, I've been in the game so long, and one of my trademarks is always so professional. He takes pride in being on time. He's well spoken. Even paperwork. I was talking to you about paperwork. Matthew always made sure I did paperwork. He taught me about publishing. He taught me how to read. And when I listen to some of these interviews with some of these artists, they OGs they didn't teach them that. In fact, they would take it from them. They made sure they stayed dumb.
Appreciate Matthew more
because I understand now how free he was with the wisdom. Where in this game, the music game is predatory.
That's right.
The dumber they can keep you is the more that's how they make. Unfortunately, it's a dirty look, especially in the urban music business. They benefit off of keeping you stupid. They don't want you to know about publishing. They don't want you to know about how to register your stuff because they prey on you. And then it breaks my heart where I see so many older artists at the end of their career, they don't have nothing to show for it. And they say, well, I didn't know what I was signing. Matthew always made, and I didn't want to hear that shit, man. I'm a straight man, I gotta do all this, man. They cool. Ain't nobody cool.
That's right.
Ain't nobody cool, nigga. This is what you gonna do. You gonna get them to sign this, or it ain't gonna say.
That's right.
Bottom line, you need to register your plug. You need to sit your ass down. You need to read this book, this musical business. He made sure. And at first, we would bump heads sometimes about it, but as you get older, you understand, man. He was really trying to make sure that I could benefit from this game.
When you went over there, when you went to SUC, Kiki was over there.
Yeah.
He was young. Him and Fat Pat was up. They pulled up early.
Oh yeah.
What did you know about Kiki when you first went over there?
When I first went over there, this is the beginning stages.
I know.
The beginning. Key and Pat.
Was Key them around or?
Key was there, but you got to remember Key was from Herschelwood.
That's right.
That's southeast.
Okay.
I'm southwest.
So y'all were kind of
when we knew in the same circles, but it was kind of what was this new nigga?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You was young. You was newer than him.
Yeah, exactly.
You were newer to the group.
It was him, and then this new nigga come around, Screw and Pat keep talking about, and then they know, it's kind of not our hoods weren't beefing, but it's kind of like back then. It's like who blocks sell the most dope, and you know what I'm saying. So he with this, so it wasn't a beef, but it was almost like a.
It was a line. It was an imaginary line.
Yeah, but when I talk about my brother Key now, people don't understand our bond is so strong because it was really forged in flames, blood, sweat, tears. We've made so much money together. We've taken so many losses together, buried so many friends, fought so many battles. Me and Key really watched each other grow up to be
y'all the same age?
Yeah, we're about the same age.
It's funny because Key always showed me love ever since I started this platform.
Yeah,
Key and ESG, and that ain't nobody that we're going. Well, ESG different because he knew somebody.
Yeah.
But Key, because of LD300.
Yeah,
it's just
okay. That's the link.
It's a bond
because you from East.
I'm from East Texas.
Now it makes sense. Okay, yeah, I see that in LD. Yeah, Key. Okay, shout out to LD too, man.
LD300 the beast, man.
Yeah. Shout out to LD.
I put him in that booth with anybody. Yeah. He gonna rap.
Shout out to LD300, man. But when I talk about Don Key, it's really. And man, when I see the man he's become to this day, I'm so proud of him, man, because I know where he come from.
Yeah,
I know Kiki was a block nigga too, man, on a run, hiding, different. Kiki a street nigga, man. Kiki a street nigga too, man. Kiki a street nigga, man. Don't get it. Nah, it's like when I see him now, it's like the growth. And he's been counted out so many times. And me too, it's like as many times as we both had to reinvent ourselves to keep going and to still be prosperous. It's like And he one of the last of us still stand, ain't too many of us still, we done lost a lot in the SUC.
I lost a lot of people.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
been crazy.
I love the Don, man. And anything he does, I support.
I want to go back to your first deal with you knowing with Matthew Knowles being a part of it, MCA.
Yeah.
You do your thing, you sign it. How do you get a lawyer to look at it, or does he work with you on that? Or how does the signing go? Because a lot of people that first deal, they get hit, because they don't understand the business.
Yeah. You
didn't have that problem.
Nah, because shout out to Bilal too. I was really God. I think my mother, I always say my mother that passed was my guardian angel because she really put me with good people.
Okay.
Bilal was always a guy that always made sure, he wanted to make sure that I always understood the business, read books. He was back in New York. They got that thing. I think it's called like 5%ers or something.
Yeah.
Knowledge. He was one of them guys.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So he was very pro-black on, hey man, raising the youth right. So he always made sure, hey, get a lawyer, read this, know this, anything I needed to fight for, go back. Hey, I really would want. He was someone that would go back to the label and actually fight for me. So, and we still talk to this day.
Wow.
We still talk to this day.
That's dope.
Like he's
still who he with now?
He's not in the music business anymore. But it's crazy because he's big in education now.
Okay.
He's like a principal over a private school, but they fly him all over the world. He just came back from Ghana working with children. So it's crazy because now that he's so big in education and raising children, I know that nurturing spirit he had over me when I was just a young wild nigga, it makes sense now. Wow. And we still talk to this day. He's still,
one of the key points that you said, and I don't do a show without pulling this out.
Yeah.
This is my pull out game.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Pause.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Pimp C. You live with Pimp C?
Yeah, I live with Pimp C, man.
That right there, that stopped the whole show for me.
Yeah.
Like, this is everybody get mad. I don't care who you is. You could be Scarface to anybody. You're never going to be better than Pimp C to me.
That's your favorite rapper.
Period.
Yeah.
Ain't no favorite. Ain't nobody else.
R.I.P. to the Pimp. R.I.P. to the big homie Bun B. Rest in peace, Mama West.
Yeah.
UGK was the very first people to ever take me on tour.
Wow, so you hung out with Big Bun.
Yeah, they were the very first people to take me on tour.
Yeah.
The very first. When I was just, they're my big homies. So I was just coming out, Can't Stop was just coming out. I was making a name for myself. And, the Chitlin circuit, they was running the Chitlin circuit. I'm a young nigga out of H-Town. Mama West, may she rest in heavenly peace, took me under a wing. UGK took me out on tour, and because I was so young and wild, she'd always say, hey, Pimp, Bun, make sure, you know what I'm saying? Watch over him, make sure he don't be too crazy. So that's how the relationship started, you know what I'm saying? And then Bun used to be on the West with the middle fingers, doing their own, he ran with some niggas that used to be trapping out that way too. They was big on it. Well, maybe I'm telling too much in that bit, but shout out to the middle fingers too. But that's how the UGK little old started. But after a while though, Pimp moved to Atlanta.
He did.
So whilst he was out there for a minute, I was wanting to work on some music, and he was like, "Nigga, just come out here for a while and fuck with me." And that was one of the greatest times of my life.
Steve Belo out there?
No, I didn't.
Because he came in for a little time. That was his protege too. He just left here the other night.
I don't. Steve. Nah, I don't. I know what's out there.
You have to look him up. He did a few of them songs, but what's that? I stay candy in my car. What's the name of that? No. Hell no.
I don't know. I know the name for sure. But he wasn't. You asked me was he there at that time?
No. Yeah, he lived in Atlanta with him too. Okay. But it probably was a different time.
Yeah, it was probably a different time.
But same house, different time.
Yeah. So I stayed out and man, Atlanta loved Pimp C. And that was the first time, man, I met a young Jermaine Dupri. That was back when So Def was the Kings, was new. That's when I met a lot of the Dungeon family because he used to run with a lot of them out there. Shout out to the whole Dungeon family. And you know, he would take that. I met Short. Short was living in Atlanta at the time too.
Oh man, I've been trying to get Short on the show, man. I gotta figure that out.
Pimp, you know, I got to meet Short. Yeah, okay.
He did switch.
Yeah, no, I definitely know the name, but you know, he wasn't there at the time when I was there.
Yeah, I get it.
So he would take me all throughout Atlanta, Magic City. The first time.
Too Short.
Oh yeah, I met Short now. But
what is Short? What was it like meeting Short with Pimp C?
Everything was just, it was like living in a dream, man. Because it's like you looking and you're like, man, that's Jermaine Dupri right there. Man, that's Too Short. Man, that's Outkast. Man, that's Big Boy and Dre. You know what I'm saying?
They were coming through messing with Pimp.
Everybody fucked with the Pimp. You would have thought Pimp was from Atlanta, man. They showed him so much love in Atlanta. And it was just like to be a fly on the wall and be, hey, this my little homie, oh, you get what I'm saying? They showed him so much love in Atlanta. And it's just, meeting all these people was just like, it was just crazy, man. And Atlanta, this is peak Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Magic City, what's that shit? What's that shit? Freaknik, like wild, and you really
BMF and all of them. Everything was down there.
That was before them.
It was before BMF.
Yeah. Come on, man. This.
Wow.
If they was, I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know. You know, I didn't. Back then, I was just so encamped with just the music scene. It was the new black.
How
Mecca.
was Magic City when you first went to it back then?
Man, you know, this is my first memory of Magic City, and I'll never forget it. The girls were so goddamn fine, and I used to be like, "This is black man heaven." I've been to the strip clubs. I've been in Harlem Nights everywhere. Strip clubs. So I'm used to strip clubs, but I'm like, God damn, why are the girls so goddamn fine? And you want to know why? They were the first to do ass shots, but back then we didn't know they were ass shots. I didn't know they was ass shots. The girls now that we know, but now it's so popularized. You know what I'm saying? They were the only people. I'm gonna go in and say they had to be.
I was about to say, how you know they were the first?
Because man, ain't no way I didn't know about it.
Hell, they'd have been there.
And it's niggas in there from every city saying the same thing. Detroit, Chicago. Man, how do you think Magic City got so goddamn famous?
Because they had them bad girls.
What, man? I said it was black man heaven, man. I had never seen nothing. And you know, this Texas, the girls is naturally fine. Especially in Houston, man. And now, but Houston always had some bad. It was something different. That made me just feel like Atlanta just must be the place for kings. This is where a black man supposed to be. Because of Magic City and Blue Flame. And you walk in there, and all the girls' asses was just so perfect. Well, and we didn't know it was ass shots back then.
What made you move? Why you never moved back?
Well, I mean, shit started just taking off for me in Texas, in my area, and you know, my producers and all my people were here, we just kept it moving. But you know, Atlanta was. Man,
did you ever see Pimp make beats?
Oh yeah.
What was the highlight moment?
Pimp C produced on my first independent release.
Which one?
It's called Who Snitching? Me, Pimp C, and Bun. If you listen to the track right now, if you know Pimp, you know his production.
That's right.
Yeah, I watched him. In fact, when I was in Atlanta, is when he made that beat, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, that's when he made that beat. Yeah, I watched Pimp C produce a lot. He had this thing called, what was that boy called? Is that AR-15?
I'm thinking
of ASR. ASR.
I'm telling you.
I'm getting guns.
Yeah. No, but you watched him work on it.
He had a room. You would go down the little steps. He had his little room set up like a little, and you know, he'd be like, what you think of that? He'd add something to that. Yeah, I watched him. You know, I really watched him do some.
He loved that music.
Yeah, he loved it, man. He loved it. He was passionate about it. And a lot of people don't know this, man. People don't know. I know UGK.
That's right.
I know UGK. I can say that on Boss Talk. I know Bun. I know Pimp. I know Mama West. I went on the road with them. People don't understand how hard it was for them in their situation with Jive Records. Like, they really went through a lot with that label and had to fight for just to get, and this is as big as they had to fight for everything. And it'll take a mental toll on you when you always got to fight for something, especially with these labels that don't understand a Southern artist. So for Pimp to still love the music
and keep going,
like how he loved it, that's how much he loved the game. Because if you knew half the fuck shit they was dealing with major label politics, most men would have tapped out.
He kept going.
He kept going. He had a passion for the game. That's how much he loved the music.
Well, today is Pimp C's birthday. So give me something that something that you remember about him and some way you could acknowledge him today on his birthday.
I don't know if I should tell this story, but it's crazy because I don't want people to judge it wrong, but one of the craziest things Pimp ever told me, and we were just talking one day, and we would just talk about life and everything, and one of the things that stick with me now, and it's really hit me later on, it was after Obama became president.
Okay.
And this was way before, this was back in the Gap. And if you remember, I told you growing up, when she asked about me, I was always told you could be anything. You could be anything, just read your books. So I don't know how we got on the conversation. And he had told me, like, man, it's just some things niggas can't be. And I'd be like, you would tell your son, and we was really all saying, and he was like, man, I would tell my son, nigga, you can't be president. You black.
Yeah.
And I just remember when Obama became president.
You thought about Pimp.
I thought about Pimp because it hit hard. Right. Because it hit me hard at that moment. Because it was like, damn, bro. It's like, you would tell your son that? You would say, you don't think you can be, because I wasn't raised like that.
Yeah.
So it hit me then, but when Obama became president, it made me smile, and I looked up at the sky like, I told you, Pimp. I told you. And, certain things because it's like, Pimp was my hero.
He was your hero.
And one of the hardest things about being in love with your heroes is sometimes you find out they're human too.
That's right.
And some things they might tell you might break your heart.
That's right.
It don't mean you don't love them any less. It don't mean you any respect, but you understand that they men too. They bleed just like us. You get what I'm saying?
That's real.
So I don't think Pimp knew how much he hurt me that day when he told me that.
Wow.
I was like, man, why I can't be president? Man, you can't do that. You black. And I said, man, are you kidding? Well, it's like, because I knew I had felonies back then though. So it's like, but I was like, he said, man, I would tell anybody. I would tell any black man. I would tell my son. And I was just like, a kid here, and a Nigerian kid growing up here, he could be anything his whole life. It's like I felt crushed inside.
Yeah.
You think if he was here to see it actually come to fruition, you think that would have changed his mindset on stuff?
It's not. I think seeing anything come to fruition changes. That's why representation is important, because once a man sees it,
it's up.
It's up. So of course it would have. Of course, look, my papa, God bless the dead, Jack Barrow. On my wife's side, he's to see, he's from a small place called Plaquemine, Louisiana.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So one of my favorite pastimes whenever we'd go visit him during the holidays is he like Crown Royal. So, I've been with the same girl since so this is my family.
Since high school.
Yeah. So, past high since college. So 30 years in, that's how long we've been. So this is my family. So I would always hear stories of the stuff they had to go through, because he was a successful black man. He was one of the a mortician in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever, he had, things he had to deal with, man, like he was one of the first black men to have a house and this thing. When it burnt down, the fire department let it burn. And then they put out the fire. Grandma Barrow didn't get past the second grade. Mm-hmm. But she had one of the most successful daycares in New Orleans. Shout out to the Barrows. These is my people. You know what I'm saying? Uptown, Holly Grove. You know what I'm saying? And he was a mortician. So I guess being a mortician, he dealt with a lot of death a lot.
Wow.
So he saw so many young black men die. So it would always break his heart. And I guess he'd like to talk to me about, hey, y'all got to do better. Y'all got to be better. I didn't have this when I got, to escape here, I joined the Army. They treated me like shit in the Army. The minute I got off that boat, I just dropped everything and ran home. Worked in the factory, worked my way. So it's like he's one of the reasons I knew, not only just from my dad, but always say my Papa Barrow, that I can't make any excuses, because I really watched great people that had so little do so well. He put generations through, Xavier and Southern, not just his kids, his grandkids, some of his brother's kids, put them all through college. And when I think of some of the shit that man had to deal with, man, the humiliation, it's like, I always know, I said, I can't look Papa in the face and say I'm having a bad day, or I can't do nothing, because I watched those people put generations through college, through school. My girl went to private school whole life. He did that. Her and his wife did it together. He was a mortician. That woman didn't pass the second grade, and she was one of the most regal, classiest women you'd ever meet.
Wow.
May they rest in heavenly peace.
God bless her.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about the Trill Burger. You had a Trill Burger?
Oh yeah. Shout out to Bun. Of course, I had a Trill Burger.
How proud of you to see him doing the Trill Burger?
I'm super proud of Bun, because it's like I told you, I know what UGK
went through.
I always tell people always think this shit easy. We just make it look easy. Man, I have seen the pain in Bun's eyes before.
Wow.
I've heard the conversations Mama West has had, having to fight them people for everything. The hardships, keeping you Pimp alive when he went to prison, and people counting him out, and him coming back with such an iconic album I've seen Bun fight his whole goddamn life.
Wow.
Ever since I've known Bun, he been fighting. So for him to finally, God, and I watched so many niggas die with nothing, man.
Come on now.
Man, to see Bun have anything makes me smile. Every time I see Bun win, I'm automatically gonna be happy. I know he just opened up a third Trill Burger. He just opened a third. Hey man, I smile from ear to ear because I know Bun's story. You can't tell me what Bun had to go through to get there.
You seen it.
I was there. I was there. UGK was the first people to take me on. I was there.
Yeah, man, we love Bun, man.
Yeah, shout out to Bun.
We love Bun.
I'm super proud of him. Shout out to Trill Burger. Hey man, RIP to the Pimp.
Queenie been in there with him.
Shout out to Queenie.
Yeah.
RIP Pimp. RIP Mama West. I always have a special place for mom. Yeah, happy G-Day, man. Happy G-Day, big homie. Face up, you looking all spicy. Because I know you niggas hating and wanting to fight me. Thinking that I'm all Hollywood like Spike Lee. Thinking I won't steal you and fuck up your white teeth when I catch you in your jaw and fuck up your white teeth. But nigga, I be ready to scuffle like Dice B. And y'all walking out of this tussle ain't likely. I hope you boys ready to rumble. I'm quite deep. And I ain't friendly, but I'm going to tell you politely.
Bag. Give me 50 feed. Man, oh Lord.
Hey, man.
This boss talk, man. I got to get that music.
Hey, man.
I love this, man.
Hey, man. R.I.P. to my big brother, H.A. Dub, man.
Listen. listen, man, I want to ask you about him because I know Mr. Lee came on here and told me, you know, like how cool he was and how I'd heard him. He had just left Mr. Lee, you know, like some studio stuff. And he said, just talk to him. Man, how was it for you when you first heard we had lost Big Hawk?
Me and Hawk was close, brother. You know, all the SUC is close, but you know, you always gonna have some that are close. Cause me and Hawk was on the same independent label.
Okay.
Game Face. You know, Hawk was signed to Game. When I went indie, I was on Game Face. Hawk was on Game Face. So the time spent together was so. Hey man, when Hawk died, it was like the wind beneath my wings, man. Because let me tell you something, man. This game. I always tell you, man, this game, man, I'm not here because they wanted me here. I'm here by divine right, and I was a monster. But don't think it wasn't times where I didn't want to give up.
Come on now.
Don't think it wasn't times where I felt like I was counted out. Or maybe I should just quit, or hey, maybe at the time my money was funny and maybe I'll go back to trapping. I'm always connected, and Hawk was one of those people. He would never let me forget who I am.
Wow.
He's when I hear you don't you ever let anyone tell you you ain't who you are. You the truth. You gonna make, you know, he was one of my biggest supporters. Wow. And reminders of who I am. He wouldn't let me forget who I am. People know me for whoa. People don't know he's the reason why I always go whoa.
Yeah.
People, you know my trademark whoa?
Yeah.
The reason why I do that is, one, it's my way of remembering Hawk. But I promised Hawk, one day I went to the studio to do a song with Hawk, and I laid my verse. And I said, okay, I'm done my verse. What you think? He was like, man, this verse hard, but you ain't done. And I said, what you mean I ain't done? I thought you said you liked the verse. He said, you ain't do your yeah and your whoa. And I said, man, I don't think I hear it on there. I don't think this verse calls for that. And he said, listen to me, always do whoa. The streets love it when you do that. That's your trademark. Always do. And I was like, man, are you for real? He was like, man, you not listening to me, Always say, whoa, that's you. And he's the reason why even when I post, that's my way of remembering my brother. But he's the reason why, because ever since then, there's never been a little verse when you don't hear whoa or intro. Hawk said, always. He's the one that made me do it.
Man, that's dope.
Yeah, yeah. So when I lost him, it was earth shattering. And then it was also, he was so loved. I didn't even understand why anybody. How could
there was an accident though, wasn't it?
We still don't really know, man.
But you got to think about it. He already lost his brother.
Yeah.
So he had living with that. I love that when he rapping, it's probably on that Trade the Truth. When he rap on that Trade the Truth.
On which one? Swang?
Yeah.
Okay.
He talk about it. I wish I could bring Scoop back.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
of course.
do that.
He always rapped about his brother.
He want to bring Ball them back, man. That verse right there, boy. He said that's how because I be comparing everybody verses when when you rap. Yeah. I'm like that one right there hard to get around because he said even God could do that and I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah.
And he talking about his family, man. He talking about
a lot of people don't know what they know now because we've done so many interviews, but we call Hawk the 5-star general, the Screwed Up Click. Yeah. He was the glue. He was the glue. Like, he was the one that made everybody, because niggas, look, SUC is one of the most legendary cliques in rap history because you got so many of us that independently have our own motion. Key got his own catalog. Lil O got his own catalog. Pokey got his own catalog. Big Mo got his own catalog. Fat Pat had his own. ESG had his own. You got so many. Can you imagine how many egos that is?
Oh, yes, a lot.
With niggas that is independently having money and young and really outside.
Think about this. When I interviewed ESG, he was like, I was like, man, well, how you not on the man video? He like, man, I was tripping with D-Reg over money and tripping. I should have been on that. I don't know why I let that happen. I should have been on that. That was the most pivotal point of his career. One of the most pivotal. And because of me feeling away by something dumb, I missed out on a monumental moment.
But that was the norm back then. But that's how much respect we had for Hawk.
Yeah.
Hawk was the one person that made, hey, all you niggas get over yourself and get y'all ass to the studio.
He always tell y'all that.
He was the glue.
Wow.
He was the glue. He's the one reason the whole SUC Takeover project got made, and everybody understood. Miggity, Mike D, everybody understood. Hey man, Big Hawk said we got to do this. We got to be here at this time. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, everybody else would just be like, man, I'm gonna get the man. I'm chasing money. I'm doing this. I got this bitch in town. I'm sipping drink. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he took it serious.
Yeah, he took it serious, man. So it's like that's why if you ever want to see. If you follow the whole screwed up click timeline, you can kind of tell people started moving a little separately. The one thing that defined it is Hawk's death.
Wow.
Because the glue.
Yeah, it was gone.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to ask you also, you did you was on that Steel Breaking Boys album.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Slim Thug, man.
Man, Slim Thug.
Shout out to my brother
That's
Slim
my
Thug,
nigga, man. But two things I noticed on that.
What's that?
I'll say the first thing I noticed was you Nigerian.
Yeah.
And Chameleonaire is Nigerian.
Yeah.
So I noticed that.
Yeah,
y'all both got this going on.
Yeah. And
the second thing I noticed was you rap right before Pimp.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you want to know, it's crazy because, you know, like I said, we got that song with Pimp. I'm on a few other songs with Pimp.
Yeah.
But it hit me a year ago, you know, that because people start I tell people sometimes you got to get reminded of all the legendary shit you did.
Correct.
And people's like, you know, man, you got that bad classic motherfucker. I forgot about that song. Well, I'm from Beaumont, Texas.
Hey.
And I jammed it, and it's like when you look back, it's like, man, that's really some incredible shit. You did right before, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just crazy.
Out to me.
It's just, and that song is a classic, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much people still bang that song as it's one of the Texas, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to my brother Slim Thug, man.
That thing, everybody was on it. It was 5 minutes and something.
What?
So that thing, everybody got their chance to rap on there.
Slim was one of the first to really do one of them long posse cuts.
He brought that whole in there.
Yeah.
ESG did one too.
Yeah, but Slim was before. Slim was before.
Yeah.
I'm on Southside still holding. Look, let me tell you something. Ain't
You
too
gonna be
much
on
done
that
came
album.
out of Texas that the fat rap with the cheese ain't been involved in the man. That's just facts, man. That's just facts.
Yeah, that's
but
hard.
Slim, I remember when that first, man, the earth shook. And, you know, me and Slim got other class. You know, me and Slim did We Ain't Broke No More.
But think about it, man. Camille, that hook, he robbing, man, that hook still bringing
boy. It's a monster.
His voice sounds
It's
so,
a monster.
man, I love Chameleonaire.
Yeah.
I hate he ain't rapping like that no more.
What?
But I miss that, bro.
Hey, man, look.
But everybody got to do what they got to do. I just was emailing him back and forth the other day. About 2 days ago, right before Christmas, I'm emailing him like, he hit me back, man. You know what I ain't doing? I'm like, oh man, I need you back out here, man. We need to talk, nigga.
He having too much money, man. Shout out to my brother Kev, man. Shout out to Chameleonaire.
Since he quit, but I be getting mad, man.
But you know, he's starting to put out stuff. And one thing for me, one thing too is like he's one of the few people I can get him out of retail. If I call Cam and say, hey, man, I need you to hop on this song, Cam coming, no questions asked. What? Cam, look, I mean, if you watching this interview, Google Lil O featuring Chameleonaire and Killer Calion in the Wind. In fact, I want you to do it. Lil O, Chameleonaire, and the reason why I'm saying this, especially you, because you was talking about how he sang that hook.
But that hook going hard, boy.
You gonna love In the Wind. And man, when you hear that,
what is it?
In the Wind. Boss Talk, everybody watching it. Google Lil O featuring Chameleonaire and Killer Calion in the Wind. It's classic Texas music, and Cam, not his verse.
Yeah.
he killed it, but the hook is just the way he sung that it's legendary.
That nigga bad, man.
Now he's the true man.
Right.
You know, that's that.
I love the way, man. I just love the vibe of the music, man. You killing this thing, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
And man, when it come down to just the Houston sound and everything, man, you capitalized and made sure to do your part, man. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And one thing I always just say, man, like I gotta do 2 or 3 things when we do this show. What's one of the things we gotta do?
Top 3 artists
I gotta get that.
of all time, dead or alive, any genre. This is your top 3.
Any genre, not just rap.
Not just rap. Any genre.
People. Look, I'm gonna go in there and say it because people might not like this answer, but I think if you really are great, whatever you do can't be. Your work is still your work, and R. Kelly is the king of R&B, brother. There are very few men that can write a song like that man consistently. So I just got to be honest. R. Kelly is definitely one of the greatest of all time. That's just facts.
Man, I talked to AK from Do or Die, and he told me how when he did his song with R. Kelly, I was like, R. Kelly, he said he can't read. How the hell he doing them tracks? Yeah. He said he could say his song and then tell him to lay the beat down right on to be exactly right every time. He'll just say it and it'll be on point. I promise you, he told me. I said, what?
He's what we call in the music business an anomaly. Mm-hmm. They're not a lot of hymns, and it's an unfortunate situation. But I think his music still has to be mentioned if you're being honest when you're talking about some of the greatest. Another one I would have to say is Michael Jackson.
Man.
Okay, and your number 3?
Number 3. I think when you talk about just quintessential poetry, art, hip hop, Nas.
Oh, I'm a big fan of Nas.
From beginning, some of his songs have revolutionized music, timeless. Just from him rapping about a bullet going back in a gun to life's a bitch to just. Some of his music is so ahead of its time that when you listen to it now, you're just now catching it. Mm-hmm. It's like now the song he got, for my brothers with daughters. It never really hit me, but now I got a daughter. And one time it just came on. And after listening, man, tears almost started running down my eyes. It's like that guy has made so... from I Rule the World to Street Dreams. It's just his catalog is bigger than rap. It's art,
right?
And though there's more I want to say, but I hands down know saying those 3, I could never be wrong. They can't be argued.
And then another question is, how important is God in your life?
God is everything. If you know Lil O music, if you say you're a Lil O fan, then that's something I always include in my music.
But how old were you when you found him for yourself? Because, as you're young, your parents tell you about God and stuff like that, but you have to build a personal relationship as a grown person.
Let me tell you something. When you've been through what I've been through and you go through hell and you see God got you through it so many times. I'm one of the last of my people that's not even just alive, but I still got partners right now that's still in the feds or just came home or, really, I really understand what I've beat, what I've survived. I understand just to be alive, just to be free, just to be able to still be prospering. Mm-hmm. And man, do you know how many times I've been counted out? You know how many times I've been left for dead? You know how many times bullets have whizzed over my body? You know what I'm saying? Look at the scars on my neck. Look at, do you think that this ain't, look at, you should see my back. It's like, look, man, I'm on Boss Talk saying this. They know me from shootouts in the condos. That's why I don't do rap meetings. Nigga, I shoot it out over who can sell dope over here. I'm a gangster, man. People think because I'm cool and calm, I've grown a lot. Man, let me tell you, I don't take life for granted. And when I seen all the battles that I didn't know how I was going, some of this shit projects, I didn't even know how I was going to fund it. I ain't never had, people always thought, well, maybe his old man funded this, or nah, man, this was all been, I didn't know how I was going to get any of this shit done. I would sell, if niggas watching this, I would go all over the South, rain, sleet, or snow, selling CDs out my trunk to fund all this shit. And I'm talking about the places where this was after back. I'm talking about the places where niggas shooting dice in the dangerous places, man. If it go down, it just go down. It's just where they couldn't go. This is the blood, sweat, and tears I had to put in this game. And people, but I was still able to make shit happen that people thought that it must be somebody funding his shit. And I used to pray at night for an investor. So desperate that I prayed face flat on the floor. Wow. That's how desperate. You ever been so desperate you prayed your nose touching the ground, arms stretched out? Prostrate. And one day I woke up, everything I prayed for got done on my own. Hey. And guess what? It's at that, ever since I never prayed for an investor again, because I understood God was my investor.
Come on now.
Anything I asked for, he made happen. All the people I thought I needed to make it and succeeded, I never got them. And sometimes I'd be so mad, but I never realized that all the things I needed was still getting done.
That's right.
God said, man, you lack nothing. Use what I gave you.
Let me ask you
and
this.
Once I understood that, I became powerful.
Let me ask you this. Lil J Biggs was on, I remember, right?
Yeah.
The Pack, you didn't do a lot of songs on it. You only did
5 songs. That's my latest EP,
The
The Pack.
You only did a video on it, one video.
One video, we about to shoot the video popping.
I have issues with that. I want them videos out, man.
They coming.
Listen, they supposed to be out already.
Yeah.
Cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
When I talked to, me and Bun talked, one of the questions me and him went back and forth about was, and he agreed with me, like with these DSLR cameras and with the way it is now, ain't no way in hell.
Yeah.
That, first of all, I'm still on long songs, so I was happy when Pooh Shiesty Cat I did his first day out. It's 5-6 minutes long. I was excited about that.
Yeah.
I want that music, man. We got to put more into it.
Yeah.
And I know they ain't doing right by the streaming a lot of time.
Yeah.
We got to be like Pimp was.
Yeah.
We got to do it, even though Jive got that monkey on our back.
Yeah, for sure.
Even though we got to love the music, and God ain't gonna let you plant there no seed and there not be a harvest.
For sure.
That's the problem. We so busy trying to figure out how it's gonna happen. It ain't doing that, and we discouraged when we need to be encouraged at the fact that God and keep our faith where it's supposed to be so we can go up. But we push that music, it's gonna produce, bro.
You know, a lot of people don't understand. The Pack is something that just came out last minute. That song I remember had been out. I loved it so much. It was really J Big's song at first. I just loved it so much that I put it on The Pack. My new video pop, y'all get ready. The streets already talking about that Poppin' It record. That video's on the way. But if you notice, The Pack is just an EP with 5 songs.
Yeah.
Shout out to my homie DJ Beto. That's who produced the whole Pack.
Shout out to Beto, man. I
he did a lot for Nipsey.
We talked on the phone.
Yeah, Beto, a real one, incredible producer. Shout out to Meezy. That's who did the production on The Pack, and it was something that came together just because we did the song with J Biggs, I remember, and it came out so dope. And me and Beto was already homies. It's just like, man, let's just do something real quick now that I got the pipeline. So we're just having fun with the game. But my latest album, The Greatest of All Players, you will see, I got a bunch of videos for that. I got a video with Key, everybody.
Yeah,
I got a video with Bun, Trill.
Yeah.
My last major radio hit, Date Night, got a video for that. High Side and T Lee. That's what I was concentrating, and The Pack just started blowing up out of nowhere. I'm still working both those projects.
JB, you gave him an opportunity, but the thing is, that I'm Only Human, y'all, that's a hell of a sample. I don't know how he come up with that. You say he had produced it already.
Beto. Shout out to Beto, man.
Beast, nigga.
Beto is a beast on them tracks, man.
Boy, that nigga's I could hear it. I said, that nigga been listening to that music. That nigga jamming.
Beto is mean. Shout out to Beto. And that I remember is a bad motherfucker, man. And that's my latest EP. Look, man, if you new to it, the latest EP, Lil Older Pack. Hey, man, let me tell you something. My catalog is, man, how many classics does Lil O have? If you love
any, Oh My God?
What'd you say?
Who did Oh My Goodness? Who's that? That's a sample too.
With Beto did with me and Charlie Boy.
Yeah, you and Charlie Boy.
Me and Beto produced that whole project.
That's it. Oh, so that's
the next single. That's that shit. I mean, if you ain't heard the pack, the pack. I mean, I'm just being for real. It's one of the meanest projects on the street. It's me.
When I get prepared,
you
sending me, so I'm like, yeah, you gotta do that. I'm gonna find it anyway.
Yeah,
I'm a professional like you.
Salute that, man. Salute that.
I'm not gonna come in here and not show you love. And it's Texas.
I'm proud of that project.
That foundational build, man, you should be.
Yeah, it's a hell of a project. And hey, man, the greatest of all players is incredible. If you love the Fat Rat with the Cheese, if you love the Blood Money, if you loved Food on the Table and in my classic album, I'll put the greatest of all players up to any one of them, man. The song with me and Bun is just it's incredible. The song with me and Key, Everybody, hey man. The greatest of all players in the pack. If you want to hear what Lil O got going on right now, them two projects I put against anything, man. Real shit. I
was gonna ask you this question. This is gonna be the last question. I'm gonna wrap it up. We've seen The Weeknd sold his catalog for $1 billion. I just talked to Greg Street. Me and him just did an interview, and we was talking about selling catalogs and your masters, as they say, and they getting rid. Okay, would you be willing to sell your catalog? And do you agree with the way that Lil Wayne and all of them have sold their catalog? Everybody that's been doing it. T-Pain.
Well, look, I stay in my own lane. I don't ever tell anybody what to do with their music. Correct. You know what I'm saying? Ownership is what has saved me. You get what I'm saying? Because that's why I don't have to work as hard as other artists that have to strictly depend on shows to eat. I have an extensive catalog that I own. I make money in my sleep. I won't say that one day I won't sell it, you know what I'm saying? But owning my publishing, owning my catalog it's afforded me a good life. But when you get to a certain, I don't know what, like I said, you don't know what people are going through at the time. Or just because it looks easy doesn't mean it's easy. So if they have who am I to say what they should do? And they got good money for it, man. Eventually, you got to have some kind of end game. Everybody got their number. And I tell people all the time, man, it's like, if you got a number to where, I call it fuck you money, to where, hey man, off of this number, I can live and take care of my family the way I want. Without ever, if I just want to wake up and play video games all day and just live off the interest. Once you hit that number, who am I to tell somebody not to do it? So maybe one day, but right now, I'm all about running up the catalog because the game is, I don't think people understand what we're witnessing in the music right. This is one of the greatest times to be an artist and own your catalog and own your music, because it's like you can do so much on your own without a label now. You don't have to fight to get your CDs in Best Buy or force this person to play. We live in a direct artist to consumer market now. So something that's new, you could go to sleep and wake up and it'll be all over the world because of social media. Or a song that's old, like my very first song that I ever put out in '97 with Destiny Child, it's having a whole new life in 2025.
Wow.
I didn't even plan it. There's no such thing as old records and new records anymore. And one song can go from 0 to 1,000 and be taken 10 times around the world in 1 week just from your phone. And when you own that, it's one thing you'll complain about streaming it if you don't own it. Of course, but if you own it, we're entering a new age of super wealth in the music. And if you have your business together, hey man, you could be broke on Monday and a multimillionaire by Friday. One song can change that. Everything moves so fast. So
can you tell people where they can reach out and get a hold of you at?
Hey man, you can. All my social media is SUCLIO, SUCLILO. That's Instagram, that's YouTube, that's TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Threads. Anywhere you want to find Lil O is SUCLILO, man.
Man, thank you so much, man. God bless you. We love you.
Hey, man, thank you so much for having me. I just want to salute you, especially on your... I swore you was a DJ or something just because you're so professional and how... No, because it shows why your podcast is doing... Because you do your homework. To guys that's watching, a lot of this shit it ain't luck, man. The guys, it's the work people do when the cameras ain't on.
That's right.
So when you see people like Boss Talk or a Lil O succeeding, just know we did the work when the cameras wasn't on. So I salute you.
Man,
thank you for
man.
having
God
me.
bless you, man.
Shout out to all my fans that have given me an incredible life and supported my career. And man, God bless y'all. Make sure y'all check out my latest album, The Greatest of All Players, my latest EP, The Pat. Get ready for that popping in video. And man, salute you. Thank you for having me, brother.
God bless you. It's been another great segment, man. A Boss Talk 101. What a bosses talk.
And we out.
Man.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gon' talk, we gon' have fun. We be on fire, we be lit. It's a unique hustle, big.